Hi everyone! Today we're going to do a different style video. You're going to follow me as I go grocery shopping at the real Canadian Superstore. I thought it would be fun to give you all a taste of what a grocery store looks like in Canada. This is a superstore. It's like a big warehouse. It's kind of like a Walmart in the US, just to give you an idea. But we're going to see if we can find any typical Canadian products there. And first off, I was looking for some Nova Scotia blueberries, which is Nova Scotia's greatest export. Alas, I could not find any. Or I was looking for some Saskatoon berries, since those are also typically Canadian, especially in Western Canada. They're called June berries in the US. But I couldn't find them. As I said, they're not even super common in Canada itself, but they are typically Canadian, so it would have been cool to find them. And the myth that I would say that people think about Canada is that we only have back bacon or female bacon, which you can see from here that is obviously not true. There is a cool story about how Canadian bacon got its name. I would like to do a video about it soon. Let me know in the comments. Beef. We are in Alberta today, and so I would be amiss if I didn't talk about beef. Alberta beef is the best beef in the world. I'm just gonna say it. Lots of places advertise 100% Alberta beef. Canada is in the top 10 world's leading exporter of beef. Okay, little change-a-roo here to tea. Canadians drink a lot of tea. They drink more tea than Americans, but still a lot less tea than Brits. You can see some typical brands here. Red Rose is a really popular brand. In Canada, it is based out of New Brunswick, and they have different types of black teas and tea options. Coffee is king in Canada. Canadians consume more coffee than they consume tea. Tim Hortons is obviously the leading brand, even if they sold their coffee to McDonald's a few years back. So Tim Hortons coffee isn't as good anymore. I really hate to say that. I hate to say that so much, but it's true. From my travels, I think people associate peanut butter with Americans, but peanut butter was actually invented in Canada. No joke. I think it was 1894, I'll have to double check that. 94% of Canadians have peanut butter in their cupboard, and 54% of them consume peanut products at least once every 2 weeks.
Something I learned from researching this video is that Canada is the world's largest mustard seed exporter, producing up to 90% of the world's supply. Saskatchewan alone produces half of the mustard consumed on all 5 continents. And here we have just ketchup, so you can kind of see what the labels look like. And now we have Kraft Dinner. This toxically colored orange mac and cheese is a staple in Canadian homes. Canadians eat the most Kraft Dinner of any other country, purchasing 1.7 million boxes a week. There are also dupes of this popular meal. You can see this common brand, President's Choice. It's a Superstore brand here for mac and cheese. Canada has very similar cereal options to the US, but we also have some awesome other flavors. Some of my favorite flavors were Vector and Just Right. They bring back some fun childhood memories. It might be a good time to point out that all of the food labels are in both English and French, thanks to the official bilingualism in Canada. So even American brand cereal has the 2 languages on it. Most English-speaking Canadians know very little French, at least in Western Canada. They might have learned some in school and then otherwise forgot about it. Of course, now we're headed to one of the best sections in the grocery store, and it is the maple syrup section. Canada's production accounts for 71% of the global market. Most maple syrup is produced in Quebec. The USA is Canada's largest client, followed by Germany, then Japan. So you can actually lose your Canadian citizenship if you buy fake maple syrup. They just have those there to test how Canadian you actually are. Be forewarned. There are 3 major brands of sugar in Canada: Rogers, Lantic, and Redpath. Over here in Alberta, it's mainly Rogers, as you can see. Canadian sugar consumption has not increased since 1940. One sugar refinery makes sugar from sugar beets grown in Alberta. Otherwise, sugar is largely from imported sugar canes. And then here's another staple. I wanted to show you some staples. It's flour. Canada is one of the top 10 producers of wheat, and 75% of wheat produced is produced in Western Canada. Got milk? We do, and it isn't in a bag. I think they might have milk bags in Ontario, and I think Western Canada might have used to have milk in bags, but Ontario isn't Canada, and we don't really know or understand what they do over there. So yeah, as you can see, we have milk in gallons and liter containers like normal people. The Dairy Board, or the Canadian Dairy Commission, controls all the dairy products in Canada. There are quotas, and it is extremely expensive to become a dairy farmer in Canada. This is why dairy is expensive here. And since I love cheese, the most typical cheese here is good old cheddar or mozzarella. On to the freezer section. Pierogies are these delicious potato dumpling things. They're technically Ukrainian, but they're so widespread, at least in the prairie provinces, that they're a Canadian food now. You can buy them at NHL games, so that's how you know it's Canadian. So in the baking section, I was looking for Montreal style bagels, which are a bit different. They're sweeter and chewier. I couldn't find them. This is Superstore. It isn't really known for a variety of options. You can see some of the baking options. They're very similar to American grocery stores, I would say. Very sweet. Cake-like. Oh look, I found something Canadian. Butter tarts. I think they're Canadian. We eat them at Thanksgiving and Christmas. They originate in Eastern Canada. It wouldn't be a proper Canadian grocery store trip without a visit to the chip aisle. Ketchup chips are made by Lay's exclusively for the Canadian market. All Dressed, I found out, are sold in the US now, but they aren't as popular. All Dressed is a mix between basically all the flavors of chips: barbecue, sour cream, onion, salt and vinegar, ketchup. They're really good. They're better than ketchup chips, I would say. Ketchup chips are kind of more kid flavor. I don't know. Send me hate comments if you want. Aero is a chocolate bar that you can't find in the States. And Mars bars are different in Canada than in the US. So I just found out Smarties are banned in the US because the American rights to the brand name belong to the Smarties Candy Company, which manufactures its own hard tablet sweet under the registered trademark name Smarties, which we call Rockets in Canada. Oh, Henry's I think are more popular in Canada than in the US. I don't really know. I don't eat them. I love coffee crisps, and you can only find them in Canada. Turns out they were a spin on a British wafer cookie. I think you can see them merging between the British cookie and the more American coffee in one little chocolate bar. It's very Canadian. I love it. Maybe I should make a video about the history of coffee crisp. Oh look, Kinder Surprises. They're not illegal here. So there's our flex. There's our flex. Move to Canada, y'all. Caesars are the Canadian version of a Bloody Mary. They taste so much better, and it was invented right here in Calgary in what is now the Westin Hotel. You need to try a Caesar if you haven't. You will never go back to Bloody Marys. So I wanted to show you a little bit more of the store. I know we've been focusing more on food trivia, Canadian food trivia. But I hope you enjoyed the way I did it. Canadian Superstore also has other sections where they sell like chairs and kitchen supplies and toys and all sorts of stuff. Oh, here's the checkout line. But I didn't show that. It was more the focus on grocery shopping and a very Canadian store and a discount store. If you enjoyed this video, we might do a video like Canadian Safeway or different Canadian stores, maybe like Canadian Tire. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. See you next time. There's a loony.